أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and welcome on Youth Matters with me, your host Sakina Habib. Wrapping up 2023 with a bow of gratitude and lessons learned. From challenges to triumphs, every moment was a stepping stone. The final sunset of the year paints the sky with hope, remembering the laughs, overcoming the tears. Here's to resilience. So, hashtag embracing resilience. Grateful for the friendships that made the journey brighter. Hashtag to friendship goals. The year's playlist, I would call it a melody of highs, lows, and everything in between. This was the life soundtrack. Now, stepping into the unknown of a new year with courage and anticipation, here's to new beginnings. As the clock ticks, let's welcome the magic of a fresh start. Countdown to new beginnings. When considering New Year's resolutions, it's essential to reflect on the past year and identify areas for improvement or growth. Before making a New Year's resolution, I think it's very crucial to ask yourself some of the following questions. Number one, what is your why? Look deep inside yourself to find the change you really want to make in the new year. For example, did I keep last year's resolutions? And if not, am I upset about it? How can I make my resolutions work for me, considering my schedule, needs, wants, and financial situation? So, on today's program, we're going to be having a lovely casual conversation where we will be looking into what are some of the steps that I can maybe choose or apply in my life so I can achieve some really good sustainable New Year's resolutions. And if I'm not able to, then what should I really do? And how should I just, become a very type of a person who can basically at least try to make my life a happy, a fulfilling, and a purposeful one. So, on today's program, I will be joined by my very esteemed guest, Sister Salwa Habib, and I would like to welcome her on board. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, Salwa? I hope you're doing well. Happy New Year's.
Wa alaikum assalam, Sister Sakina. Alhamdulillah, I'm doing well. Happy New Year to you and all of the viewers, everybody watching.
Yes, absolutely, Salwa. Thank you so much for tuning on today's program. And, I'm sure that everybody is still in their break mode and they're still enjoying their vacations and their holidays. And, it still feels like start of the year. Want a week off or a couple of days or reset our energies and really to get back to our normal usual routine. What are your views on that?
Yeah, I think I completely relate to that because I've also been on my holidays and it's been winter break. And now that it's almost over, there's just a few more days left. And I have to go back to university and life and everything. And yeah, I just wish this break could somehow become longer.
I can tell from your expressions that you're still not ready to get back to that normal routine of
Yeah,
university
I really
life.
am not.
I guess it's for everybody because for me, I don't really think I have a consistent routine because with children and with kids you can imagine like we have a haywire routine, so we don't really have a fixated time. So even on the vacations, I think it still feels like we're still in the routine, but we're also out of routine. Do you get me? So it's a very different
Yeah.
situation for someone like me. But I remember, yeah, as a student, like if I would try to connect with you and try to just refresh my memory back when I was a student, I do agree with you that sometimes you really do get very exhausted and tired and overwhelmed because of the pressure of assignments and all that,
Yeah.
is basically waiting on your head. Like, you've got this deadline that you need to meet, and you really do get tired. So even like 2 days or 3 days is sometimes not enough. And you really need a stretch of the weekend. So I do get you. I do get you. Okay, so Salwa, I'm sure that, with this new year coming to an end, right? Every year people, they come up with new ideas, new visions, new resolutions, and there are some really common new year's resolutions that people make. Do you think we can just, try to brainstorm a little of that? Like, maybe for someone like you, what are some common new year's resolutions that, you would like to make, or if your friends or, your university colleagues or people around you would make?
I think one common resolution that people usually make is maybe with regards to like eating habits, to eat healthy, and some people make the resolution of that I'm gonna start going to the gym, to
Yeah.
just be like physically healthier, physical health. And I think another one could be maybe to um, I don't know, to be more, yeah, to manage time better. I've seen a lot of people keeping that as a resolution as well, to be able to manage time better so that we can get, enough tasks done in a day.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
the whole idea of the new year, new me, that like to leave behind bad habits and come in with new habits, and
Yeah, but
learn from the
Salwa,
mistakes that we
do you
made in the
actually
past
think?
years.
Yeah, but do you actually think this thing exists? Like New Year, New Me? Like, does it even work? Every year people plan it, but
I
do you think
don't
it works?
I don't really think so. I think that okay, I think that it's the mindset as well, which is what matters, because I think that it is we cannot keep unrealistic expectations of ourselves. I think if we keep like realistic expectations of um, of what it is that we think we should do, then I think the new year, new me could apply. But if we, and
Yeah,
also a lot of people think that it's like a switch, that you make the resolution on 31st December, and on 1st January you're a new you, but that's not how it works. You need an entire year for it to happen. So there's that as well, that aspect, which is also important, which again I said that that having a realistic approach to it, and understanding that this whole new year new me thing is gonna take a year, not just a day. A lot of people lose heart with their resolutions because they don't see those resolutions coming to fruition, and they don't see those resolutions happening in a day or two or a month, and that's when they give up on the resolutions within just a month
absolutely.
because it's not happening. But it's too early to give up then. You have the rest of the year. Like those resolutions are for the whole year, not for the first few months. I think this is what
Yeah,
people need to understand.
true. Absolutely. You're very right. Like, it's not like a one night flip, or a one night switch or a change that we see happening.
Yeah,
It
of course.
requires,
Of course.
yeah. Yeah. So I think for that, you need like a sort of a consistency throughout the year. You're
Yeah.
already like planning yourself ahead, and, you're trying to become this new version of yourself and taking it into 2024 and
Yeah.
continuing with it. Yeah, I feel that
Yeah.
that sort of makes sense. Yeah. So if we were to talk
Yeah.
about let's see the second question. If we were to talk about how to set achievable New Year's resolutions, what would that be?
I think to keep discipline and principle in mind, first of all, and also to understand how human beings really work. How we really work, and the fact that it's never magic. That growth is not magic. Growth and healing and all of these things are not magic, and they take time. And to allow
Yeah.
ourselves and our minds and our bodies the time to adjust with a new year and new changes and all of the new resolutions that we may keep, and to understand that we may have a plan, but it's not necessary for our plan to always work out. It's not set in stone, because
Yeah.
eventually it is truly God's plan that works out. I feel like that is also a very important thing to keep in mind, because a lot of times people also tend to lose hope when things don't go according to their way, because there was a certain plan or certain resolutions that they made, but that wasn't what God intended for them, and then it just leads to uh, it leads to so much emotional turmoil. So that's why it is also very important to understand that at the end of the day, it is God's say. We can have goals. We can have as many goals as we want. We can have an entire checklist. We can have it all. But if it isn't what God wants for us, then it's not going to happen. And so basically, what we really need to work on is to be content in God's wills, to have our own goals, to set goals for ourselves, and
Yeah.
then leave it on Allah and be content on whatever it is that Allah wills for us. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. I like that idea, how you connected it to having that tawakkul and faith in Allah. So that leads me to the next question, which is that what are some good spiritual tips, to keep motivated for New Year resolutions? Like, some people really love to work on this area of spirituality within, right? So, how do you think should I do that?
I think it's so important to keep to be spiritually connected and keep in touch with our spiritual health. We focus so much on our physical health. We don't focus so much on our mental health, but I mean we do like enough. And spiritual health is also as important. There was this page that I was looking at on Instagram. It's called University of Mahdi, and they posted 14 tips by Ayatollah Hassanzadeh Amali, and these are pretty interesting. So Ayatollah basically he wrote this in the year of 1389 Hijri, and it is very relevant, like even today. So the first one is continuous recitation and perpetual connection with the Holy Quran. The closer you get to the Quran, the closer you come to being a complete human being. Reflect on the benefits and blessings you derive from the Quran. Its truths elevate the essence and stages of ascension. SubhanAllah, I feel like this is such a beautiful point. And I think year after year, every day, we really need to remind ourselves that the Quran is not just a book, a random book that was revealed 14,000 years ago. It is an entire way of life. It is so relevant. It will always be so relevant, and we need to stay connected with the Quran as Muslims, because unfortunately we leave our Qurans on our shelves and open it only during Ramadan, or during Muharram. And I think we need to be more in touch with the Quran, even if it's reading just one line every day. We don't understand, but that really does have an impact on your spirituality. When you open the Quran every day and read just one ayah, that one ayah does impact way more than you can ever imagine. The second point here that he's mentioned is perpetual observance of ablution, wudu, which is also such a good point. I mean, I we all do wudu 5 times a day when we have to pray, but why not make wudu a habit and try to do it all the time? Like whenever we remember that there's, for example, when we have like free time, or like whenever it comes to our mind, whenever it occurs to us that we are not in wudu, maybe we should go and do
Yeah.
wudu at that time, so we can
Yeah.
stay in wudu
It
throughout the day.
refreshes,
Again,
like
this
the
has a lot
mind
of
refreshes you.
yeah, again, this has a lot of spiritual benefits, because wudu is a form of purity, right? And it's a form of cleanliness, a form of purity, a form of spiritual connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is why it is so important for salah. Now imagine if you
Yeah.
stay in this state It is wajib for salah. If we stay in this state throughout the day, it can lead to a cleaner mind as well, a cleaner body, a cleaner mind. We can feel more spiritually connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and
Yeah.
especially before sleeping as well. We should try to do wudu before sleeping as well. And then the
Okay.
third point
That's
here is moderation in eating. Now, this one is also very important because sometimes most people either tend to overeat or undereat. Usually, people don't know the moderate way of eating, which is don't eat too much, but also don't eat too less. We need to take care of our diet and moderation in speech. Again, this one too, like we need to know exactly when, what situation, and what circumstances. We need to know the right place to talk and the right place
yeah.
to be silent. For example, I feel
Absolutely.
like this fits in perfectly even with the idea of speaking up against oppression. Now, that is a situation in which you have to speak up. You cannot be silent in that situation. However, if there's a situation whereby an ignorant person is in front of you, and they have all the facts in front of them, and they have everything in front of them, then maybe in that case silence is best, because there is really no use in arguing with ignorant
Yeah,
people.
can I just add a point, Silva, here very quickly? It's really sad to
Yeah,
see right now that, uh, we've not seen a ceasefire as yet. Like the year has ended,
yeah,
and it's really sad that even though I think there were a lot of people who even, you know, uh, pushed themselves into the initiative of boycotting the Israeli products. Like, Alhamdulillah, we tried our best, we did everything, but despite that we don't see that response and that solace and respite for the oppressed people right now, which is really sad. Like, imagine, yes, I mean, when we were doing the countdown to the New Year's Eve, right?
yeah,
Imagine these children, for
yeah,
them, for us, okay, it's all like sparks and what all of that, watching the fireworks, but for them it's like, reminiscing the explosions and the bombs in the sky. And it's really, really sad that we were counting down to, being that New Year's Eve with our family and friends, while they are counting, having that countdown to the fact that how many lives they lost. So
yeah,
it's really, really sad. I think, Salwa, will take like two more points from you, and then we will move on to the next question.
yeah.
I
So
think the
another
most,
point is,
yeah.
yeah, another point is self accountability. I personally think that
Mm-hmm.
this one is really important. This is known as muhasaba. Imam Musa al-Kadhim alayhi salam, he basically has said that one who does not engage in muhasaba or self accountability daily is not one of us.
Yeah.
So every night
Okay.
before sleeping, the Imam says we need to take note of our entire day, and we need to really hold ourselves accountable for what it is that we did during the entire day. And if there's anything that we didn't do uh, good, then we need to not do it the next day. We need to, every night before you sleep, you need to know that you've done better than the previous day.
Hmm.
And if there has been any sin committed during the day, then we need to ask for forgiveness immediately.
Yeah.
And then I think another point is contemplation, to basically understand. This goes back to what I was saying in the beginning, to understand that Allah is the one who truly knows what is in the hearts, and Allah is the one who can take care of all of our affairs. And at the end of the day, it is what He wants which is ultimately going to happen. Yeah.
Thank you, Salva, so much for sharing those points with us. I'm sure that the viewers will benefit, especially that you've given a very authentic reference. We should definitely apply in our lives. I think there are 14 points to this. I was also reading this post, and I would encourage everybody out there to take a look at these 14 points. We can't really like talk about them right now because of the shortage of time. It's a really vast and a nice. Point to mention and go through, so please do go through on University of Mahdi, and the post is up there. New Year's resolution by Sheikh, what's his name again, Salwa?
Hassan Zade Amali.
Hassanzadeh Amali, right? Yeah, please do follow that. Okay, let's have the next question. The next next question is, Salwa, that what are some habits that we can leave in 2024? I think maybe we can talk about something personal in terms of personal growth, maybe something we've seen or noticed in people quite often. So what are some habits that we can leave?
I think maybe overthinking and caring too much about people's opinions of us. I think this one is really important,
Very
especially as
important. I
women,
totally agree.
I think.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah,
now this is
absolutely.
one that we think of doing every year, but then it never happens uh, because uh, because I think we haven't fully truly understood that it is Allah. Allah is the only one that we truly need to please, and that we are not here on this planet to please anyone else other than God. So if people, I mean, we should be our best selves and have the best of akhlaq and help people out to the best of our abilities. But if people choose to not see the goodness and the efforts that other people are doing, then there's really nothing
Yeah,
that we can do about it. And we need to
absolutely.
understand that we are doing our best and we are keeping our best akhlaq for the sake of Allah and helping
Yeah.
people for the sake of Allah. But if people are not reciprocating the same way, then we need to understand that we just need to leave it be.
Thank you, Salwa. What a wonderful point, and you really nailed it. I really wanted this point to be put out, and you've done that. Thank you so much. I think for my bit, it would be procrastination as of now, and stop being a little lazy. And I think to step out of our comfort zone. Like, I know that, when you
Hmm.
get really used to your comfort level, to take a risk, meaning to try something new in life. Like, that there's a risk to take, but there's a better outcome to it. So why not give it a shot? So I think that's
Definitely.
really important, because sometimes we get very much attached to our comfort zone, and we're like, no, I'm not ready for this yet, or like I'm too afraid, and I mean, I'm not energetic enough to do this. But I think this is the time, like, you should take a step, and once
Hmm.
you start with that one step, the way it pulls you magnetically, and you start doing the new stuff, you yourself get like flabbergasted, and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't know that this thing was something huge coming for me, right? So I think that's
yeah.
one thing. And what about if we were to, let's have the next question. If we were to have some good rules to succeed in 2024, what would that be?
Um, quick rules. I think um, I think it's basically a sum of everything I've said so far. Is that keep realistic expectations of yourself and don't be too hard on yourself. Like it is good to be self accountable, but not to an
Yes.
extent where you're not where you're jeopardizing your own mental health, basically. So
True.
be self accountable, but there should be a neutrality there too. There should be a balance. You know, a lot of times we human beings we struggle with balance. We need to balance self accountability and self love. We don't want to become arrogant, but we also don't want to become hopeless. And we need to
Yeah.
find the fine line and
Yeah.
the middle road between the two. And
True.
another thing is, again, as you said about the procrastination, to be careful of our time, to realize that there's 24 hours in a day, and there really is much that we can do during that day. We need to prioritize the important things as well. And the important things during that are prayer, eating, prayer, diet, and sleep because we're so busy with other things. I think this is a major rule, in fact, that because we get so busy with other things and work and children and school and university that we don't give enough time to the things that really matter, like prayer, our diet, and sleeping. We need to spend more time on our prayer, in our 5 daily prayers. We need to add an extra even if it's an extra 2-3 minutes, an extra 2-3 minutes of gratitude and reflection after every salah. And
True.
sleep is very important. For me
Yeah.
personally, I can't function without my 8 hours. I don't understand when people tell me that they can only sleep for 4 hours and 3 hours and they're okay. That's not healthy. you know I mean, if you're used to that, if an individual is used to that kind of a lifestyle, it's not a healthy lifestyle. And it's really important to prioritize our sleep. It is really important to sleep early. I'm personally not a late night. I'm not a night owl. I like sleeping early, even on the weekends. I prefer sleeping maximum by 11 or like 12 is the latest I can go. I can't go beyond that. You know,
Mm.
and waking up early and sleeping early has so many benefits, so many. Because when you wake up early in the morning, you can really get so much done. And I'm saying this from experience. And then you can always take a nap in the afternoon. You can wake up early, always take a nap. You can always take a nap in the afternoon. There's no issue with that. And eating, as I said, because when we get so busy, and again, I'm saying this with personal experience. Sometimes I used to get so busy with school and everything, and I was not prioritizing my food. I was skipping meals, skipping breakfast, skipping lunch, skipping dinner. That is not good either, because we need food to stay healthy, and that really impacted my physical health. So we need to take
Absolutely.
care as well of, yeah, these are the three things. I think this is the major rule book, is this: the
Yeah.
things which are obvious but not so obvious,
Yeah.
because we tend to ignore the obvious things. We always ignore the obvious, you know
I truly understand what you're saying, but it's so different when it comes to like workaholics and parents again. Unfortunately, it's so difficult to get, this 6 to 7 hours sleep, and especially an uninterrupted sleep. Like, do you get me? An
yeah.
uninterrupted sleep is like almost impossible to get,
Mhm.
especially when you're a parent, because even if you try to, that actually, like, the kids, especially the toddlers, they'd actually come on your face in the middle of the night, in the daytime, and they'll just be there, on your face, like, and they'll be like, are you awake? Like, daddy, mommy, whoever, are you awake? And this happens frequently. So even if you're like sleeping, you're woken up,
True,
and to go
true, true,
back to that sleep, it's just very difficult because your sleep is already
Mhm.
almost interrupted. uh
True.
okay, so I think that's one point that I wanted to put out.
Yeah.
What about time management tips, Salwa? I think it's very crucial to highlight time management tips today to have a good routine in life, a good, smooth, nice day. So, what are some time management tips to get ahead quickly in life? Like maybe if I want to achieve a goal, I have a vision in mind, I'm focusing on my career or something like that. Can you maybe just list out two or three time management tips?
Um, I think that we need to figure out, when it comes to time management, we need to figure out what it is that works best for us. And again, the best way to manage your time is to wake up early. There is no other way of managing your time best. If you wake up early in the
Yeah.
morning, there's really a lot. You have so much time to get a lot done during the day, and chances are that it does get done. Another thing that I do is, I make a to do list, and I just keep like a mental note in my mind of the things it is that I want to do during the day, and at the end of the day, before sleeping, I tick them off. That, okay, I've
Oh,
done this, I've done this, I've done this, and that also makes you feel. It also makes you feel uplifted and good about yourself, that you've achieved something. And again, to
yeah.
understand that you can manage your time as much as you want, to the best of your ability. But at the end of the day, time is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if
Mhm.
anything in your day does not go according to your to-do list, or something unexpected happens, or something that you weren't prepared for, that wasn't a part of your schedule, if something like that occurs or happens, we need to be flexible, and we need to understand that it is, Allah is the only one who truly manages time. And if anything happens, we need to be ready for it. We don't need to be so hell bent on our schedule,
Yeah.
because, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You're very right. We should really, we should basically also align the process of our mind and heart when it comes to time management. Like there are some times when you
Yeah.
want to do something, but maybe your heart is not agreeing to do it. Sometimes
Hmm.
your brain is in that mood, but maybe the heart is not into it, or the heart is into something but the brain is not
Yeah.
really in alignment with it. So yeah,
Yeah.
there are those phases sometimes. But I think very importantly, to have that self discipline, self control is very important. Like you're not overdoing something, and you're also not
Hmm.
underdoing something. You're not
Hmm.
over tiring yourself as well. So maybe have a nice routine, like maybe from 10 to 12 I'm doing some nice activity, maybe
Yeah.
as a hobby or something like that. After that, let me take a nap for like an hour, and then again
Yeah.
I'll
Absolutely.
maybe go, yeah, like take
It's
regular
very important
breaks
to
in
add in like breaks and things for your leisure as well. Like I do that too. Like I think at the end of the day, after I'm done with everything, I really just need to relax. And it's necessary for me, in fact, every day after I'm done with my tasks of the day, I sit down and put on my favorite show, or I have to do it. You have to take out time for yourself too. You must do it for your leisure.
regular.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, Salwa, let's do something fun now. So I'm gonna put some nice, you can say, comments or phrases, or I don't know, some some ideas and views, okay? And we're just gonna exchange our views and ideas on it. So I think it will add a little light to today's program as well. So let's have the first one on the screen. Okay, so Salwa, what do you think about this? Girls glow different when they earn. So for someone like you, okay, you're a university student, but I also know that you do a lot of part-time jobs. And mashallah, you're handling it all very well. But again, what is your view on this? Like, do you glow different when you're financially independent?
So I am only teaching Quran online. I'm not really going out there and working. I teach Quran online because I'm in my final year and I have classes
Okay.
almost every day. So I can't go out and work. But yes, I have Quran classes, online Quran classes, Alhamdulillah, many of them. So I have, Alhamdulillah, a lot of students, and I'm teaching Quran online almost every day. And yeah, I completely agree. I don't completely agree. As in, I agree with the fact that it's important for women to be financially independent, and I personally feel really, really good that I'm able to carry out some of my expenses by myself, and I'm budgeting and I have my own financial independence. I absolutely love that, and I think it's so important for every woman to have that. But then, um, and I personally really enjoy what it is that I do. I love making a difference in my students' lives. I love being a teacher, and I especially teaching Quran. I enjoy teaching Quran so much. Uh, but then um,
Yeah.
but then that statement, girls grow when they earn. Yeah, okay. So that also, I think, I don't think it really applies to like more corporate jobs. I don't think people are gonna like it when I say this, but I don't think that it's not. I don't think women glow when they have to do a 9 to 5 outside and then come back
Yeah, because
home and
it's more
also take
like
care of the house and their
yeah, it's
children
actually
and the
it's more
food.
like girls,
I don't think
they
women
get
glow.
what, yeah, they don't glow. So that's what I was wanted to say. I think this is gonna be a little funny, that girls get dark eye circles and a lot of anxiety when they earn more. Like especially the way you're telling me, the corporate, the ones who are doing like a
It's
lot
not
of
easy. The
corporate work for
corporate
them.
life.
It's not easy. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not.
I don't know, but like the 9 to 5 and then also taking care of a house and all of that, it really becomes too much for a woman. And I think that women should do whatever it is that they want. There are a lot of women who truly find pleasure in a 9 to 5, and they truly enjoy it, and that's good for them. But I don't think they
Yeah,
should bring down the women who really don't enjoy this, you know. I don't
yeah.
think the world should bring down women who really don't enjoy a 9 to 5, and who really don't enjoy the, like, this, what they call it, the hustle,
I
you know, who
I
don't
have
enjoy this.
seen I have seen a lot of women who do 9 to 5 jobs. A lot of my friends from my batch, actually, some of them are even doctors, and they're really enjoying their lives. But then they also know how to carry it very well. It depends how you carry
True,
it. You know, like they're also
true.
taking care of their health, their fitness, they're keeping up to date, they're glowing and all of that. So I think it's just how you manage it, you know, whereas there are some who really,
Yeah.
you know, do get exhausted and tired. What about for men? What is your view on this? Like poor men, like they don't even have a choice, I think. They just have to work and earn
I
nine
think
to
this
five.
goes
And
again, people may not like this, but I think this goes back to, again, the fact that Allah has created us different. Men and women are not the same. Their bodies are not the same. The way they physically operate is not the same. Um,
yeah. So
I don't know. I don't want to say more because people might really not like what I'm saying
yeah,
here.
I think we'll
But
just stop there.
yeah, I think yeah, that's just, it's important to keep in mind that men and women are just different. You know, they're not the same. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. The next one is uh let's see. Adult me cannot believe I used to wake up, shower, eat my breakfast, dress up, do a prayer, watch some TV, drink milk, and reach school all before 8 a.m. I remember I used to do all of this once upon a time. I was such a good kid. Salo, do you remember?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Used to be
Yeah.
on
I do.
time once upon a
Yeah.
time. That's because your parents used to do everything for us.
Exactly. That's the point. I think that is the important point to notice, is that when we were children, we were getting all of this done because it was
Yeah.
mom making our lunch, and I don't know, mom preparing the breakfast, and
Yeah.
dad, I don't know, dad driving us, and I don't know, dad also helping mom in the kitchen. Like, we weren't doing anything. All we had to do was wake up, maybe take a shower. Even the clothes would be laid out for us. Like, this is your uniform, it's ready, it's ironed, everything is
Right.
ready. That's the only
Right.
reason why we were getting all of this done before 8 a.m. Otherwise,
True.
it's not possible for anybody to get any of this, all of this done before 8 a.m. Because right now, like, for food isn't ready, like, we have to, like, take care of it ourselves. Clothes aren't, like, ready in front of you. You have to take out the clothes yourself. You have to iron them. You have to wear them. So again, it goes into time management. You know, if you want to make it, I personally think punctuality is so important. If you're meant to be at work or at university, and you're meant to be at time, you really, again, you really have to manage your time. You need to take care of some things because there's no mom, there's no dad. You need to take care of things maybe a night before, maybe get your clothes ready a night before, so the next morning you have your clothes ready and you're only focusing on your food aspect. Again, please don't skip breakfast. It's extremely important. Yeah, so it goes back to time management. You
Yeah.
know, the only way that we can get all of this done as adults is if
Yeah.
we manage our time.
Okay. Next question, Salwa, is I think we would have a huge debate on this one, and I know this is not the right time to put this up, but maybe we can have it a longer discussion in the next. But let's have it. So nobody is more stubborn than an Android user who won't switch to iPhone. I think this should be a debate. I should take this up for my next
It
episode.
should.
We would have a
It
wonderful,
should.
wonderful debate.
It should.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think absolutely.
Okay,
I completely
anyway,
agree with this because I am that person. I am an Android user who will never switch to iPhone no matter what anyone tells me. No matter how
that's
much
good.
someone tells me that an iPhone is really good, it has this and that and all of that. I just don't want to hear it.
Cool
I
camera
don't want to
feature.
have it. Yeah,
Yeah,
even
I
if
think
I
it has
had to
a
get it, like,
cool camera
I had to
feature.
get a new phone. Exact. I had to get a new phone, and I still opted for an Android because I don't know.
Yeah,
I just think Androids really are better. I think there's just so
yeah,
much work with iPhones. I think iPhones is, it's just the name, and it's just the hype about it. You know, it doesn't really mean anything. You know, and Android is equally, if not more, as good, than an iPhone. The camera is also pretty good. Like the new phone that I have, the camera is like it's really really good. Android cameras are not that bad. I don't know why we get all the hate. But
Yeah.
definitely, I will always be that person. I am never, inshallah, I'm
Yeah.
never going to switch to an iPhone.
All the iPhone people back there are, saying right now poverty mindset. So I think we'll just
Yeah,
move on to the next question right now. But okay, so let's just move on to the next question. This was our view, this was our opinion. Okay, next one, Salwa, is uh, have friends who discuss investing, starting a business, self development. What do you think of this?
yeah. I think that is also, it's really important to have people around you who want to grow and want to see you grow. It is really important to be around people who are intellectual and motivated, because that really helps us
Yeah,
become better individuals as well. I think it is so important to be surrounded by intellectuals. That is really, really
yeah,
important. People that you
great.
can have conversations with. Not just a friendship is not meant to be it's not meant to be filled with shallow conversations. A true friendship has all the deep conversations and all these things which make you really wonder about life and its intricacies, and about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And all of these, it's so important to be careful of the kind of company that you have, to be around people who intellectually challenge you. That doesn't mean that you don't have fun. You should also be around those people. Should be intellectually challenging and fun. Fun when it's time for fun. Intellectually challenging when it's time for having an intellectual conversation. Like everybody should aim to be a person that knows how to have a really good time and knows how to really have fun, but at the same time also knows how to carry a very deep conversation about politics, about religion, about life and goals. That's how a human being should be, a perfect balance between a fun individual and an individual that people can really talk to and really get advice from when they really need it.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Salwa. Thank you so much for sharing that. I loved it the way you said it. It's really important. And quality is so important than quantity. Like in your friend circle as well, it's very important to connect with people who truly understand you, are on the same page with you.
Yeah,
Um, Especially
definitely.
someone like me, very, very selective when it comes to friendships. Like people love approaching me. I'm very approachable and all of that, but I've got my set of, friends, and I've got a little bit of that, you can say, I don't know, I wouldn't say criteria, but there are these tick boxes, yeah, like check boxes, yeah. So
Yeah,
I love people who actually discuss really good stuff that will bring a progress into my life, as well as
definitely.
a good growth in their life as well. So that goes hand in hand. Okay, next
Yeah,
question. I mean, next statement, or whatever you want to call it. Um, People who sleep with their phones on silent don't care about anything in life. I know people who keep their phones on silent throughout the day, and I'm one of them, sometimes on special days. So, Salwa,
me
what
too.
would you like to say?
I mostly have my phone on silent as well, but
Yeah.
lately that has changed. Lately, I don't have my phone on silent, but before, like for I think for like the longest time, I think this is something that just changed this year, to be honest. Up till 2022, I was also a person who had my phone on silent the entire day. But I think this year
Hmm.
I've changed, and I don't have my phone on silent anymore. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I think it's I don't know, sometimes I don't know, the world gets too loud, like you just want peace. That's the
yeah,
reason why you
I
keep the
totally
phone on
relate with
silent.
that, because no, yeah, because I switch off my vibration though, because yeah, and sometimes you just really don't want to look at your phone. And well,
Yeah,
it kind of works for me, because at night I can't really, I am kind of a heavy sleeper, so even if my phone is not
yeah.
on silent, I'm not really gonna hear anything, even if it's a buzz or whatever it is, I'm not really gonna hear it, because it's like my sleep time. Except for my alarm, I do hear my alarm in the morning. But then again, I feel
Obviously.
like listening to your alarm in the morning is also very much in tune with your mindset. Again, you really need to make the intention before sleeping that you're gonna wake up at that certain time, and best believe you really do wake up at that time, even if your alarm doesn't go. You really do. I've experienced this almost every day. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think sometimes it is necessary to keep your phone on silent because, as you
Yeah.
said, the world gets really loud sometimes, and you really need to be away from your phone. You can't always be, on social media and on your phone. Yeah, and
Right.
yeah, but then you also need
Okay.
to be careful because there could be something
Yeah.
important as well.
Okay. Running out of time. So let's quickly just finish up with the last one, and that is stay at home or be out on the holidays.
I mean, at the moment, I'm home. So this holiday, I'm home. But of course, I mean, who wouldn't want to be out on the holidays, right? Everybody wants to be out on the
I
holidays.
think
Especially, I think,
on the
when you're
New
living
Year's
in
Eve,
Canada.
yeah, New
Especially, I
Year's
think,
Eve.
when you're
Come on,
living
you.
in Canada, everyone really wants to run away from the cold and from the snow and the winter. And most people I know usually run away in December to like East Africa or the Middle East or some place where there's a beach. And yeah, exactly. But then the rest of us, we get stuck here. And all we can do is just stare at the snowmen outside our window. And there's really not much. And
The
shoveling
way
and
you're saying
spend
it is,
hours shoveling
yeah.
and I don't know. And if you
I
don't
remember
have a
you
car
told
and
me
you're a student like me,
once
then
that
even if you want to go see
this is
the
like,
fireworks, even if you want
yeah,
to go see the fireworks and you're a student like me, then you don't really have a car. So even to see the fireworks or to really have fun or go out, you have to commute in all of that snow and wear all of those boots and all of those jackets and coats and take a bus, which is going to take you to your destination after an hour or so. So it's really, I would really
yeah,
rather just stay at home. I would rather stay
I
home.
get it. I absolutely get you, and I appreciate the rant as well. It very much explains the hard work that's been put. Uh, it depends on everybody. I remember when I was in Dubai, catching the metro all the time, from commuting from one place to another, and then getting on the bus, and after 2 hours getting to university, back and forth. So but now you're telling me this is a really, yeah, this is too much actually. And the
You
fact when
can't
you told
compare
me
the
that
Middle
you guys,
East
no, I
to,
can't. Yeah, you're right. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm going to take that back. Salwa, I just want to thank you for sharing that. And you know what, Salwa? I remember once you were telling me that you guys actually have this like duty to shovel up the snow, like it's a part of your
yeah,
routine. That
it's a part of
that was like,
daily life.
for me,
You
was like,
cannot function. You have to do it. If
yeah,
you don't do it, then good luck. You're gonna stay in your house in a snow home, surrounded like in some frozen house with snow and ice and everything dripping all over your house. So you really can't do that. You have to go out there and shovel, whether you like it or not. There's no choice. There's no choice. You have to commute and walk on the ice.
yeah.
You have to do it. You have to shovel. You have to do all of this.
I get it. I get it. Okay, last question. Last question. Thank you, Salo. This was really good, by the way. I really loved the way you put it out there. Last question is the New Year deals and the sales up to 55%, blah, blah, blah. Like what we see during Christmas year and, sorry, during Christmas time and New Year's Eve. How frustrating is this? Or is it good or bad? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not really much of a shopper, so I really don't care, to be honest.
Even I don't
I'm not. I've
care.
never
Don't
really
worry.
enjoyed shopping much, so I really, really, really don't care if there's a sale or not.
Rather,
But yeah,
I
it
would
is
be happy if
useful
someone
for
told me
people.
this
I have seen it is
Yeah.
useful for people who really want to get stuff, and a lot of people actually, especially over here, I've seen people waiting for this time of the year to buy that thing that
Yeah.
they really want to buy, which makes sense because it's not otherwise it's not really affordable, and this way it's not entirely affordable, but it becomes somehow affordable, which is, yeah. it works for some people.
Anyways, thank you so much, Salwa. It was so much fun having this lovely
Yes.
conversation with you. And yeah, thank you so much for being always so, honest and genuine on my show. I really love this about you, to be very honest. So thank you so much for taking out your time. I hope you had a wonderful time on
Thank you so
this
much for
with
having
me.
me. I had such an amazing time, and I hope our viewers enjoy this little segment as much as we did.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much, viewers, for tuning on today's program. I hope that it was a wonderful insight into today's New Year resolutions, and the type of things that we can do basically to achieve some good sustainable achievements in our lives, inshallah. And with that, I would like to end today's program. Please do like and share this program as much as possible, and do give us your feedback, and inshallah looking forward to have more of such amazing episodes in the future. Thank you very much. This is your host Sakina Habib signing off. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.